Hello and welcome to Exotic Gardening with me, Yorkshire Kris. We're actually in the middle of the video at the moment and I'm clearing this area of the greenhouse. We'll get to the beginning of the video a bit later and then the end will follow after that. And the reason I'm clearing out all this sand from this heat box is because I'm going to rejig the greenhouse because, believe it or not,
and winter is coming.
So really got to get ready, and unfortunately I've got to think about winter and I've got to prepare this space before I can start bringing in plants, take cuttings, etc. And I'll be doing weekly videos from now on, where it be a proper video like this or a live stream where I answer your questions, talking about winter, preparing for winter, all the types of plants that we can grow in our UK gardens and Europe. We'll talk about those, we'll share experiences, I'll talk about what I learned from last winter and the last 15 or so winters of growing exotic plants, and between us we'll get through all our plants, hopefully without any losses. Right, it's time to clear out the greenhouse, get it ready for winter, and it's also time to turn this wood here into this. It's time to rethink where everything goes in the garage or greenhouse, which this is. And over there, under all that mess, is my heated sandbox. So it's on the ground, it's insulated, full of sand and heating cable, so it keeps plants nice and toasty and allows things to germinate very quickly on there. But it's not the best use of space. I put it on there to begin with thinking I'll have lots of tall plants, but I think I'm going to actually lift this up to bench height level, so I have a new bench with a heat mat on top, and then I can use all the space underneath for storage, which I really need. And then I've still got to tidy up everything else. Got this nice area here where you can see I made a bench last year, and I've got the wall around here where another bench will be going in, and then we're going to look around the space, probably plan out and tidy up and think how we can use the space better over winter to maximise the space and also not use as much energy as it's becoming more and more expensive. So I've nearly cleared all the sand out of this, I call the heat bench, although it was on the floor. I did a video of how I made this about 2 or 3 years ago, so I'll do a link in the corner and the description below so you can see exactly how I made this. But you're going to sort of see the process in reverse in the first part of this video, because we're emptying this out, and underneath all this sand we've actually got insulation panels. We've got 50mm Celotex insulation, so I'll be carefully getting that out, taking off the plastic, taking off this wood, sweeping and clearing this area here. Then we're going to actually build a new table. It's going to have to be a really strong table, because not only does it have to hold all the plants on top that I'm going to put on top of the table, it has to hold all the sand, and there were about, I think from memory, if you see the video, I think it was about 9-10 bags of sand, and each one of those is about 20 kilograms. Then we put lots of water in here to keep it nice and warm, to conduct the heat through the sand, and that in total will weigh at least 300, maybe 400 kilograms, so it needs to be a really strong table. So I just want to show you how much sort of stability I've added into the structure here, because I want it to be super strong. So for my corners here, we've got a nice chunky piece of timber here that I've notched out and put this frame on, so this piece is resting on a cutout piece here, you can see, and it's screwed in this way, and then For extra stability, I've added another board on the outside, so that's screwed into here, and along here, so it's really, really strong. And done the same in each corner, and for the middle, what I've done is I've screwed through here into this piece of wood, but I've also used this bracket, this support, and it's actually something I've had for about 10 years hanging about in the garage. Thought, would I ever need it? But today's the day I do actually need it, and I've used it to support this as well as those screws going through there. And if we look over here, we can see on top I've used decking boards, and I've screwed them in the middle and at the ends, so we've got a nice, strong, sturdy structure that should hold the weight of all the sand, water and plants. And this is 2.4 meters or 2.5 meters actually now across by 1 meter in depth, so I can just about reach over to the other side to, you know, tend to the plants when they're on there as well. And then once the frame's up on top with the heat cable and the sand, it'll be level with the top of the window frame. So that is this structure, and as you can see underneath, we've got lots and lots of space, so we can store lots of things under there. This is why I've decided to raise this in the first place. So we've finished the table workbench here, really strong, really sturdy, and it needs to be, because it needs to hold a lot of weight, so of probably 300 or 400 kilograms at least on here. So if you remember, we had the heated sand propagation unit on the ground. I had to take all the sand out and put it over there, lift up the frame, put the insulation back down, and then I've put half the sand back in, just scooped it and put it back in, and now I'm laying this heating cable, and I'm laying it up and down here, so it's nice, even, consistent heating for all the full area. And this is 2.4 meters by a meter, so it's quite a large area. And then I'm going to put sand on top, and then we're going to look around this area and think how we're going to use this space over winter. So now the sand bench is pretty much finished, and because I've lifted it up, it gets far more light, and it means I've got loads and loads of storage options underneath. At the moment, I'll just put a few electrical things, Hoover, workbench, saw down there, and then I've got this unit to put loads of different bits and bobs in. So I've got loads of trays that I can just pull out and put different bits and pieces in here. So I've got lots more storage in this area. And then what I think I'm going to do is hang a curtain down from the roof here, like a bubble wrap curtain, so I can keep this really nice and insulated, this part of the greenhouse, nice and warm. And then the next job, which I won't bore you with in this video, is tidying up all this here, this workbenches here, this staging, should I say. I need to bring my staging in on this side to fill that area, and then we need to tidy up the middle, and then we'll be ready to start taking cuttings and bringing in a few plants, that house plants, in before it gets cold. But the week ahead looks really warm, 25 degrees every day, so return of proper summer weather, which is fantastic. So I think in the next video I'll show you what I'm going to do with this very tender banana plant. So catch me then. Thank you for watching Exotic Gardening UK.